Hopefully you learn from my life lessons and my mistakes. I was reminded when I was a little kid, shortly after my dad died, my mom kicked me out, and I didn't have nowhere to go. Nobody wanted to take me in, and it seems like the moment you're in a situation, your friends run from you and your enemies laugh at you. But anyway, I was on the streets for years and struggling, trying to get a job, trying to work, trying to find some money and trying to get myself out of the situation. But it seemed like no matter what I did, things seemed to not turn in my favor. On this one particular evening, I was dying. I know I was dying. I was bleeding out everywhere every time I used the bathroom and everything, and I was even puking up blood. I knew it was game over. I could feel myself get cold. I started drifting off, and like I wanted to go to sleep. In that moment, I just said, Lord, if you get me out of the situation, I'll go to church every Sunday. Instantly, I felt warmth come into my body. I started waking up. I actually became alert. I think the very next day, a friend of mine brought me some food and everything, and things all of a sudden seemed to turn in my favor. Eventually got a really good job to where I made really good money. I was able to get a car, and not only did the Lord do that for me, but where I said my prayer, the Lord actually gave me an opportunity to buy that land. It was like 3 acres, so I was able to buy that land. And not only that, I had random strangers come up to me and give me cashier's checks, some for weird amounts, and sometimes they were for $25,000, and some of them were for $35,000. But I didn't want to be homeless, so I cleared the land, and I was able to build a house on that. During the course of building that house, I met a girl and ended up getting married and ended up having a family. The Lord always showed himself faithful. I didn't always go to church every Sunday. At no point in time was I ever faithful. There was times when I didn't even go to church for months on end, but the Lord was always faithful. And even now, there were certain situations that would arise, and the Lord would always turn it around to my favor. And I was reminded today that happened. And looking back on my life, it's just been one miracle after another. I actually heard a situation with like Benny Hinn. He was in a situation when he was a young man, and he was testifying about this little situation that the church needed oil. He told the Lord, he said, Lord, if you get me out of here and then into the United States, I'll buy you a can of oil. Lo and behold, the Lord got him and his family out into the United States, even when the country was shut down and there was no possible way for him to even leave that country where he was at. And they moved to Texas, and his family grew up there. And the Lord came to him and said, where's my can of oil? He gave the Lord his can of oil, but he's always been pretty adamant that God is faithful. Some of you are probably in a certain situation, and you're probably even wondering if God is even real. You're probably wondering, how can this help me? Well, some of you guys are in certain situations. Maybe your parents or a loved one is dying or something. Maybe you're on the verge of losing your home or something. Whatever your circumstances are, you can always ask the Lord for help. If you don't think God's real, ask him for something very specific. And hopefully you guys use wisdom and understanding and ask him for something very specific and ask him to show himself real, and he will show himself real. But here's a warning. You can't say that it was circumstances. You can't say, well, that's just a coincidence. When you ask for something very specific, God will do it. But you can't say, well, it was just blind luck or something. But he will show himself. I am actually living proof that God will do that for you, that he will turn your certain situations around, and he will show himself faithful. Just as he's done it for me, he will do it for you.